There's going to be a quick little ramble, maybe some training footage over the top. Just my kind of thoughts on cardio for strength, primarily strength athletes. So your powerlifters, weightlifters, general kind of guys in the gym that I think could probably use a bit more cardio. And now I'm not just talking about steady state kind of treadmill, elliptical, those kind of things are good. But I think spicing it up a little bit, having a bit of variety with the kind of training stimuluses you can get from different various forms of cardio, I think are another good thing that we can kind of like talk about. I think obviously the kind of easiest one, just straight off the bat, it's the most boring, it's the most simple, but probably the easiest, I guess, for 99% of you to do is just kind of incline treadmill, reasonable pace. I tend to go between 3.5 to 4 speed. Obviously that varies per treadmill, but pretty similar. And I think that's the easiest one. You can do it pre or post session. You know, you can add 20 minutes on at the end of each session, or before 15, 20 minutes before or after each session, sorry, should I say. And then that's it. You know, you're good. You could do that. If you train 4 times a week, you could do that 4 times a week. And that would probably be enough to build a relatively good base for you, for your kind of goals for training. And I think that's fine. But I think what's more beneficial is some variety. So maybe we can get on the bike, we can get on the ski erg, we can get on the rower. Each kind of different session, obviously dependent on the facilities that your gym has, but I think we can kind of get on things like that and make our lives a bit more interesting. So I think the easiest way to incorporate it is like anything. Like, for example, if I said I wanted to bring up my core strength, I'd probably do my kind of core and ab exercises pre anything else. Like, so if I had sit-ups or a weighted plank, I'd do that first thing in my session, so it's there and it's done, and it's not going to affect the main kind of point of the session. You know, like if I had a heavy triple on my squats, me doing 2 or 3 sets of GHD sit-ups or weighted side plank or something like that isn't going to necessarily affect that squat top set. If anything, it might just help me with my brace a bit more. And I think the same is there for cardio. I think 15 minutes on a concept 2 isn't going to kill your gains. It's not. Like, and that one study everyone cites, I think, is bullshit. Personally, I don't think cardio is going to kill your gains. I think, if anything, you're getting an essential warm-up, especially if you've got dodgy knees, things like that. 15, 20 minutes on a concept 2 or a watt bike or an air bike or a spin bike or on the rower or on the treadmill at a reasonable pace. Maybe not on the ski erg pre-session, but I think anything like that is just gonna make your life 10 times easier. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, like after a heavy set of 5, you're out there. We can't be having that. And it's going to make your lifting quality better. I made an Instagram post about this fucking ages ago, but this is kind of a longer format and just like a ramble of kind of what my thoughts are while I'm just sitting in my hotel room doing nothing. I thought, why not make this, you know? And it's like, we can't have that. We can't have the inability to be able to push our top end ranges more because we get out of breath bracing, or we get out of breath doing our back down work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's not a worthy, like, there's nothing really, like, if I said to you, for example, if we did an extra 3 sets of bench a week, your bench is going to go up by, I don't know, 10 kilos. You go, yeah, absolutely, add it in the program tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And I'll start right away. But if I say to you, let's do 15 minutes of cardio before our session or after our session 4 times a week, you go, oh, well, you know, I've got to get home, I've got to have my meals, and I've got to do this and that. And it's like, right, so if I said to you doing that 4 times a week could take your squat, for example, from, let's say, 220 or whatever that is in pounds, I think it's about 485, and that could take it to 250, you know, or whatever that is in pounds. I think it's about 530 maybe. I don't really know, but yeah, we take, and then you still say no. I kind of look at you like, right, so you don't want to do the hard things to get the gains that you want. I mean, I'm not saying we've got to go and run a marathon here. Do you know what I mean? 10, 15, 20 minutes at most, maybe half an hour. We're really kind of out of shape for our kind of goals that we have. But I don't think it's anything egregious to ask of an athlete. And if you are an athlete watching this, or you have athletes and you're a coach watching this, I think it's, as long as we're not in a kind of a peaking phase. So like if you've got a lifter, strongman, weightlifter, powerlifter, anything like that, and we're in a peaking phase, obviously that's entirely different. We're training for a different purpose right now. But I think if you're nowhere near competition and your lifter's constantly saying to you, I feel tight, my lower back feels tight, I don't feel like I'm recovering enough, doing something metabolic and getting your cardio respiratory fitness up is going to do 10 times more for you from a recovery standpoint than it is if you just sit there and do fuck all. Like, I'm going to be honest, it's not that difficult for the average person to get 10,000 steps a day, 8 to 10,000. It's really not. It's 2 40-minute walks a day if you generally don't want to do it in the gym. Like, and if you're traveling to work, say you're getting the train, you work in the city, you get the train, you got maybe you drive to the station, right? You still got to walk from the station to your office, and you can get up. You can even split it up. You could maybe do 20 minutes in the morning before work. You have to get up 20 minutes earlier. It's not my problem. You could go to bed 20 minutes earlier as well. If you go to bed at 10:30, go to bed at 10. You're still getting the same hours, but you're getting more out of the kind of stuff you're doing in between. 20 minutes in the morning, you could go 10, 15, 20 minutes at lunch. And then you walk around the gym, and then you could do 20 minutes on the treadmill or whatever. That's about 6,000 steps. With all the other steps you're doing in the day, that's going to equate to about 8 to 10,000. Like, it's really not, and that's something I've learned as I've kind of, I guess, started working more and things like that. And I mean, I've got a dog, so it's even, I have to, do you know what I mean? Like, I tend to walk him in the mornings. My dad tends to walk him in the evenings, but that's irrelevant. Sometimes I walk him in the evenings on the weekend, because he's busy doing other things. Sometimes I walk him during the week because he's busy doing other things. But I always tend to get at least half an hour to 40 minutes in with him in the morning. And I used to wake up at about 7:30. Now I tend to wake up at about 6:50, 7 o'clock. And because I know that I feel better on a Monday, I go in secondary squats. It's my Monday. I'm just on the belt squat at the moment, nothing serious, but I know that my lower back's going to be a bit tight from Sunday because I've not done much. I'm doing a lot of programming, doing a lot of sitting, which is why I'm standing up making this video, because I thought, I've got about 5k steps in just walking around the town that I'm in at the moment. Pretty simple stuff. It's not difficult. You can find somewhere to go. Like, I don't always take him to the same place. I could just go over the road with my dog every day and we could get 40 minutes in. Easy. But I don't. I like to take him to new places. I like to explore. And when we tend to do this, we tend to be out for longer than anticipated, I guess you could say. Like, we tend to, like, say I've taken someone else, we've been out for 2 hours before. For me, it's about 1,000 steps a minute, I think, roughly. Or 1,000 steps, sorry, every 10 minutes. I didn't mean a minute. 1,000 steps every 10 minutes. And we've been out for about 2 hours. So I've got about 12,000 steps-ish out of that. And obviously he's fucked. I'm a bit fucked. That's probably a bit too much all in one go. But I think people undervalue the importance of a good cardio routine in recovery from their heavier lifts. Like, I think the easiest way to start, we'll just kind of, now that I've rambled on a bit about walking, we'll go into, I think, where to start. I think the easiest way to start, like I said, is 15 to 20 minutes pre or post session. You're at the gym anyway. What difference does it make? You can go to bed a bit early. You don't have to spend 2 hours before you go to bed scrolling Instagram reels. You can do 20 minutes of scrolling Instagram reels where you just walk at like a 5 to 10 incline. Like, make it a bit challenging. Like, we want our heart rate. I think for me personally, it's between about 120 125, I think, is where I kind of can feel some benefits of it. And obviously I have my I have a watch to track, but if you don't, your phone in a pocket, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? But I like to switch up. I like to have a bit of creativity. Sometimes I'll do some air bike sprints. I'll do short work with equal rest. So I'll do 15-second sprints on the air bike and you only get 15 seconds rest. That works a different energy system, but I'm still getting the main benefit of it is that my heart's not going to give out when I'm 30 because I'm not the smallest guy. As you can kind of see, like, you know, I'm not an Alec Blennis or a Hunter McIntyre or someone like that who's got the ability to, you know, run a marathon, run an ultra, things like this. I'm not some of my clients. Shout out to Owen, who's a beast. He won't say this, but you know, I'm not. That's not me. I'm a shorter, played rugby most of my life, played American football, through the shot put, things like that. I'm quite fast, explosive, but I can still find a way to use the qualities that I've got, you know, speed, power, jumping, things like that, to use those qualities in a cardiovascular sense. So, I mean, I do a lot of repeat work. I don't tend to run because I find when I'm in a heavier phase of training, running does affect me negatively. It makes my kind of lower back a bit too, I think the pressure can come quite heavy. I'm about 138, 140-ish at the moment. That's kilos. So I can feel it in the back a bit when I'm running, just feel it in my knees a bit. But I can do. I sprint during the summer, which is a lot of my conditioning work comes from sprinting during the summer because we're in the colder months now. I tend to like to stay inside and it gets dark a bit earlier. But yeah, I like short work, short rest, or short work with equal rest. I think is a really good one. So if you do 30 seconds max effort on an air bike, you get 30 seconds rest. We do that again. Maximum 10 rounds. I find any more than that, we're kind of delving into we're fatiguing. We can feel it in the quads and we'll start to get some DOMs and things like that. And obviously we don't want to increase the need for recovery for or with the main focus of the cardio being less recovery. If you get what I mean. So we don't want the cardio to fuck our session. So for me, for example, right, we'll use me. Monday, secondary squat. Thursday, primary squat. Right. I don't want to do my 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off on the Monday and have it quads are already domed, right? So like from a 4x12 belt squat, I'm just trying it out. And then I don't want to do another 20 rounds of 15 on, 15 off because then it's even more lactic in my quads, which I then have to have even more time to recover from. And then it's a vicious cycle and you kind of get stuck in this vicious cycle of doing this to recover, but doing it too hard that we're not recovering enough, which is, you know, not what we want. I'm kind of rambling on a bit here, so I'll kind of tie this up. I think the best things you can do are some short sprints with short rest, like hill sprints. Hill sprints are really good. I know Josh Bryant, Jailhouse Strong, is a big lover of the hill sprint, I guess. Again, really good. If you've got the capacity, everyone's got a hill, grass, cobble, fucking tarmac. Like if you live on a hill, go out 5 to 10 reps, good rest in between, 3 minutes in between, maybe a bit less if you're just starting out. A bit less if you're just starting out, just to get some work capacity out. But if we're going, obviously, let's not go 100%, we'll start off 70, blah, blah, blah. But then going from that, I think using your equipment, ski erg, rower, bike, again, you can do short rest, short work, short rest on those, or you can do short work, slightly longer rest. You could do 10 seconds on, 50 seconds off, 20, 40, 30, 30, things like that. Or you can do repeats. What I like to do on the watt bike that they have in my gym is I'll tend to do about a kilometre on. So hit a kilometre as quickly as possible. I tend to go about 1:30. I think is like a good, I'm pushing myself, but it's not like maximal exertion kind of thing to fuck me up for my kind of next lower body session. And then I give myself about a minute's rest. And that works for me. I do that 5 or 6 rounds and that's me done. And every time I do it, my Garmin, I track it on my Garmin because it can track the watt bike itself and it tells me that it's improving and I feel better and my lifts feel better and I feel like I'm recovering more. So yeah, I think a lot of you out there could definitely add it in. I mean, if you have any more questions, do leave a comment. Instagram is below. I'll leave my page. Feel free to DM me. I love answering questions. I love talking about training. It's my life. It's my job. I'd like to make it a full-time job at some point, helping as many people as I can. But I mean, I work with anyone, combat sports, endurance athletes, special forces selection, police, fire, anything. So I like to take things from all the things I've done there. Obviously, my primary goal at the moment is cut. I want to get down to about 130 at the moment, so we're almost there. But increasing the cardio has definitely helped that a lot. And I find about 10k steps 10 to 12 is good for me. Anything kind of beyond that 12 mark, unless I've had a busy day and I'm walking around a lot, like I kind of did yesterday. Anything more than that, I think gives me the adverse effect of what I want from it, basically. But yeah, that's it. I'll kind of overlay some clips of me lifting and stuff like that. But yeah, I think really.